What up, grinders? I'm Jackson. I'm here with Miles Jones. Miles, what did you do this weekend?
Yeah, I just won this standard RCQ this last weekend over at Roon and Board in Hillsboro. I was playing the sweet Blue Eye Oculus deck. I think it's super consistent, super powerful. Now I'm qualified for Hartford/Minneapolis.
Nice, nice. All right, let's check out the deck list.
Alrighty.
All right, so this is the deck list. Miles, what did you think about the list you played?
I was really happy with it. I don't think there's any changes I would make currently. It's a fairly standard list for Oculus, for Hottie Gens. I'm electing to play just one Kiora. Some lists play two, but I find it a little bit clunky if you draw one or both ever. Standard reanimation package. I've been really happy with founding the third path. Some lists I know opt out of it, but I think it allows for a lot more consistency and even like letting you hardcast your Oculus on turn 3, just like dodging graveyard hate, sort of a little bit. I am playing an extra Surveil land. This is mostly because I found when you brick on lands, it's really rough. So it's the 21st land, and you don't have any 1-drops. So playing the 5th Surveil land sort of helps you set up a little better on turn 1, and like even potentially high roll into a turn 2 Oculus or a Hottie Gen. Yeah, those are my overall thoughts on the main deck. I don't think I would change anything currently.
You'd stick with the mana base, you wouldn't make any edits at all?
Yeah, I've been really happy with the mana base. I definitely wouldn't play any more Adarkar Wastes. The basics have been pretty good. I ran into Lynx once and it was a little rough, but it wasn't that bad. I don't think I'd play a different mana base at all. You can sort of use any blue Surveil land, it doesn't really matter. I just chose Sewers because it's what I had.
Okay. Sweet. I guess let's check out the sideboard.
Nice.
All right, so here's the sideboard that Miles played. Miles, what were your matchups at the RCQ, and how did you sideboard in those?
All right, so my first matchup was against Gruul Delirium. Game 1, he didn't really do anything, so I only sideboarded in the flankers, and I cut just like the Kiora and one of the recommissions in case he was heavy on graveyard hate because he was playing green. Game 2 was a lot more rough. He put out a lot more aggressive threats, so for Game 3 I opted to bring in the Elspeth Smite for a Charter Course and a Founding the Third Path. These cards are just a little bit slower, and against more of his aggressive starts I'd rather open with one of these instead in order to combat that. Rounds 2 and 3 I played against Golgari Midrange. I think that matchup's really good. I didn't have too much trouble with it. For post-board games, I sideboarded in the 4 Mentors along with the Negates and the Exercise, and I chose to bring out the Hottie Gens, the Recommissions, and a Kiora, and then I can't remember what the last cards I took out were. I think it alternated between some number of unsummons or the Founding package.
Kind of based on vibes?
Based on vibes, essentially, yeah. The thought process here was if he's playing like Scavenging Oozes or the Frillback or Ghost Vacuums, Mentor is just a little bit better about combating that than the Hottie Gen. Like if he just wipes your graveyard in one shot, it's really rough. Sort of a similar argument for Kiora. Sometimes I would choose to leave this in, haven't exactly figured out exactly what to board in. The Exercise is good, it just removes all their threats. Archfiend, it removes Unholy Annex, and it's sort of a similar thought for here. It counters their removal spells, their proactive enchantments. Yeah, and then round 4, I played against Jeskai Convoke. It was a little scary. He sort of bricked game 1, so it wasn't too much trouble, but game 2, I brought in the Split Ups and the Smites, the Authorities, and the Flankers, just all my anti-aggressive cards. And I brought out all the counter magic and the 4 Hottie Gens. I think I would choose to board a little bit differently going forward. I don't want to take out too many threats. It contradicts the reanimation spells and makes them a little bit worse. But overall, I was happy with the cards I boarded in. Authority of the Councils was huge against Convoke, just making them wait a turn to Convoke or just slowing them down, gaining some life in the meantime, letting me set up was really, really powerful. And I'm happy with the cards I brought in my sideboard. I don't think I would opt for Lockdown over Split Up or Sheltered by Ghosts over Authority. Then I double drew into top 8. First round of top 8, I managed to get second seed, so I was on the play both games. First round was against the Simic Eddie Murky deck, as they say.
What's the Eddie Murky deck?
It's built around like Tolarian Terror and the crab. I can't remember what it's called. Then they just played like a bunch of cantrips, a bunch of counter spells, a bunch of bounce spells, the Up the Beanstalk, and the Otter Saga, or role class, whatever it is. Game 1, I sort of just put a bunch of guys into play, and he never found a crab, so I was able to take that game. And then in the post-board games, I brought in flankers, and I think that's it. I think I just brought in flankers for a couple of the recommissions. Just wanted to play more of a tempo game, hold up more mana, counter more of his spells, basically try to prevent him from doing anything really, and it seemed to work. He sort of bricked a little bit, but I got there with casting Oculus a bunch of times. And then for my last match of the day, I played against Golgari again. Super comfortable in that matchup. I just did the same sideboard plan. I brought in the Mentors, the Exercise, and the Negates. Brought out the Djinns, the Recommissions, and then like a Kiora or a Chart a Course, depending on how I was feeling. And that was the tournament.
All right, well, congratulations, Miles,
Thanks, man.
on your win. Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, I want to shout out my local team. We got Team Cherry City Gaming here. We do a lot, not as much as we probably could, but we play test pretty consistently, a couple times a week. Specifically, I want to shout out Ryan Ward and Matt Robinson. Matt lent me this deck out of the kindness of his heart.
What a guy.
Wrecked him in top 4, though, for the invite.
It's like that.
But yeah, they tested a lot in paper with me and talked a lot of theory. Helped me board against specifically Jeskai and Golgari, which just happened to come up. So big thanks to those guys and Cherry City Gaming for doing all this.
Sweet. All right. Well, congratulations again, and thanks for your time.